We'll call, it's 10 o'clock. I will call the Harrison County Commission for Wednesday, June 29th, 2022 to order. If you would rise, and join us in the invocation and pledge.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today to talk to you and pray to you and let you know that in the nation right now where so much is divided, that Lord, that we find a compromise that's found with peace and love and not hate and violence. And for the people in this room, Lord, that whatever's tugging on every individual's heart and is on their mind weighing heavy, that the Holy Spirit just lift up in your name, Jesus, to the Father, to bring them peace and kindness and comfort, that they can lay it at your feet and walk away from it and know that you are almighty and in control. We pray all these things in your name so that it may glorify the Father. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would continue to stay standing, I would like to ask for a moment of silence for the great veteran Herschel Woody Williams, who passed away today, I think this morning. Thank you. Okay, we have public comment. I have Rocky signed up, but I don't see Rocky unless he's on Zoom. Rocky, are you on Zoom? It's Rocky Romano. What if he comes back? Okay, next is Cole Williams. Cole?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cole Williams. I'm here on behalf of the Harrison County Livestock Association. We just wanted to come to the meeting and just express our gratitude and thanks toward the county commission for their help so far with the livestock facility, and just to give a few numbers on the amount of kids that this will help. At these numbers are as of yesterday, there's 610 students involved in it in FFA throughout the 5 high schools, 165 students in middle school, and a total of another 40 kids that are involved in Harrison County 4-H. So there's a great deal, and these numbers have grown dramatically. 3 years ago, South Harrison chapter was 74. So it's on the rise, and I really think this is a great thing, and we're very thankful and grateful for everything you all have done thus far to help us.
Thank you, Cole. Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly?
Madam President, Rocky said he's on his way. Here he comes.
Okay. Ooh,
Sorry.
go right ahead there, Mr. Romano. You're up.
I apologize for being late. I'm trying to get ready for the TIP meeting. But the one thing we're looking at, we're getting ready to do a press release on, since the sheriff's tax tickets are getting ready to come out now. Well, let me just read. This is an unofficial draft that we want to put out. Harrison County, Clarksburg, West Virginia. The Association of West Virginia Assessors President Joseph Rocky Romano would like to release a statement regarding tax year 22 bills from the Harrison County Sheriff and Tax Treasurer's Office. COVID-19 increased new and used car values tremendously in 21. To offer some relief to the taxpayers, assessors met with Commissioner Matthew Irby to use July 1, 20 values instead of the July 1, 21 values to generate the 22 tax bills. Mr. Irby then went to the Governor Justice for approval. The personal property bill you will receive this July should be around the same amount you paid last year in 21 versus the huge increase the assessors were anticipating. Your local assessor, as well as Mr. Irby, in conjunction with the governor's office, should be commended for working together for the good of West Virginia citizens. Romanis Day also commented, I really can't think of any other time the tax commissioner approved using rollback values. What this was is the values would have been almost double. I have a 2002 Chevy Avalanche. It would have been $1,065 more because of the way, and I don't know if JD Power did something different. JD Power's bought out negative, so we now use JD Power books. But that's what was happening, and the new trucks, they were going to be $15,000, $20,000 difference. So we got the commissioner to do that, and that's where we are for this year. So now we will be using the books for the value this coming year. But so everybody's tax ticket, the thing is, a lot of people's going to get their tax ticket, it's going to be like exactly what it was last year. Whereas normally there would have been a decrease, but there's not going to be that huge increase what they would have had. So we just want to put something out so people know before they get their tax ticket and then start calling about it. Okay,
Good deal.
thank you. I
You got it.
apologize for being late.
That's all right, Rocky. You got a big day today.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 10:07 and I believe at 10:05 we have John Paul Nardelli from Healthy Harrison.
Hey, everyone, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and speak today. I want to recognize our board members that are present today. Our board president, Amy Haber Bosch Wilson's with us for support. Gary Hammer from the Harrison County Board of Education and Commissioner Treecost, thank you for continued support and being a part of our board. Healthy Harrison's a 501c3 nonprofit. We've been in existence for about 7 years, and our primary goal is to get the residents of Harrison County healthier. For those of you who might not know, obesity is one of our biggest issues that we're dealing with, where we're seeing nearly 40% of the population being obese, and then nearly 80% being both obese and overweight. And so our team has really worked diligently to decrease those numbers to make an impact and to change the state of obesity in Harrison County. We also have aspirations to do a statewide project, and we want to impact the overall health of the entire state. And so it's with a great deal of pride that I'm able to say that this initiative, which started in Harrison County, is definitely making an impact, and we hope to see it continue to grow. We do several things within our organization, one of which is a podcast where we're really promoting awareness and trying to get people aware of our projects. And then more importantly, get people engaged in one of many of our projects and where we've seen tremendous results. Typically, we see around 20-pound or 20% loss reduction in weight for some of our biggest losers in our projects. And so I come today seeking a request of $2,000 and continued support from the commission to carry out our mission and vision into the rest of the year.
And Madam President, they do much more than that. Even the study that we were shocked that they put a book down at the North Trail and how many people had signed up that they had participated. And when we got the numbers, we were so excited because I admit, even as a person that uses the trail, I didn't realize how many people were. And I just want to thank you for all your effort. And at this time, if you don't mind, I'm going to recuse myself from the room of being on the board, please.
Any questions? I'm happy to answer. That's it.
You have any questions?
Have we given money before?
No, I have been to the commission before requesting funds, but it was specifically for doing our project with employees at the courthouse. And that was right before COVID happened. And so unfortunately, we haven't been able to receive, unless I'm overlooking something, not to my knowledge.
This money will be used just to operate,
It would be used towards incentives. One of the biggest challenges we have is, of course, driving awareness, but then that awareness only works if people are actually involved in our projects. And so we would be using that as incentives, whether it be prizes or opportunities to elevate individuals for their success in the programs.
motion to give them $4,000.
Motion's been made to give $4,000 to Healthy Harrison. I don't know what to say to that, but all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. There you go, John Paul. Okay. Consent agenda, well, it's number 2, consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices, A and B.
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve number 3, A and B.
Yes, please.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
Okay. Please note the opposition. Motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meeting, A and B.
Motion approved, A and B, please.
Motion to approve number 4, A and B. Any discussion?
yes, ma'am, to amend as presented. The motion.
Amend as presented. Oh, okay. You want to amend the motion to make it as presented.
Yes, ma'am.
You okay with that?
I don't know what it means.
As presented by the clerk, I think is what you're trying to say. Is that correct?
Okay, yeah, okay, sure.
Okay. Motion is amended to approve as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the amended motion? Signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices as shown on A, vendor requisition list of payments. It's a pleasure.
Madam President, motion approved. Did you sign this?
Yes.
Okay, good. I did. Okay, good. Motion approved.
A question, where are we at with the bills for West Milford? Their request for payment?
There's, well, I told them that Jeff Barnhart reached out to me with everything with this fiscal year. It will be coming in July.
We approved to have those expire in this physical year, not next physical year.
We talking about the ARP fund?
No, man, the bill for, to fix their water system, the fire hydrant, close to 75,000. I'm just curious why it wasn't on here.
I'll have to look into that. The paperwork I got was about the ARP.
David, I don't think they started the project.
Yes,
I asked him-
I've seen the bill. They sent it to us weeks ago. They've been expecting the payment and for the ARP, which really doesn't affect what year it's at, but I'm just curious why it's not on the list. And I would like to,
You saw the bill. Where did you see the bill?
I was sent an email.
By,
Mr. Barnhart requesting payment.
David, I can tell you that on their last pancake feed 1 month ago, they hadn't started because I keep bugging them about that. Tell them that you and I are adamant that the fire hydrants get water to them.
They asked for payment be made direct to the contractor, and I told them no.
I think we're all on the same page, you and I, but I don't believe that I believe that I'm as crazy about it as you are. Those 6 fire hydrants are still dead. Which I keep saying, how can you do that to that community?
Who else was on that email that you received
I don't
from?
know, Susan, I have to go back and look. That was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Can you present it to us at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Because I'd love to see it, because I'm telling you, the pancake feed, they told me it hadn't even started, because I keep bugging them and bugging them and bugging them about getting water to them.
I just like the. They were acting like they needed to get that paid. But
I know there's been an email going back and forth from somebody from West Milford, but
They were supposed to, the first time they sent it, they said all the attachments, but there were no attachments to it. And then like 2
but
weeks,
that's not for this.
no, the attachment that I opened was for the ARP fund.
Okay. Okay. We'll look into that and get that.
To which also, by the way, I explained that that wasn't money that we just sent them, that they send us a receipt on what the money has been spent on, and then we then reimburse that.
Correct.
Because if we send out the money, that money will disappear.
Correct.
And I'm adamant that it will, and I don't care who gets mad at me at saying that. We're gonna pay for things as they're bought, not as they collect money and then nobody knows where it ever went.
Okay, we're off for the requisitions.
I guess I don't, I mean, not have it here looking at it, showing all our expenditures, Patsy on master meter vault.
I'm happy to do exactly what you're saying, David. I'm telling you right now, 30 days ago, those fire hydrants were still flat.
This was on 6/22, sent to Laura, Susan, myself, Todd Michael, Brian Seeker, Michael Seeker, Ryan Holcomb.
Laura, can you follow up with Mr. Barnhart on that and Mayor Summers and see what we got going on?
Oh,
And if a check needs to be cut, if we actually have a receipt, then we're happy to cut the check.
And would you like to amend this motion to include that $75,000 check to West Milford for the fire hydrant?
No, just put it on next week's agenda,
We don't have an agenda next week.
then the following week.
I think you should check with the city to make sure we're not putting them in a financial fund.
Right.
And their ARP draw they had it broken down for percentage of it. I just was asking. An 8-page document. It was attached to the email sent to
All of us.
all of us.
But are there receipts for payment? That we need to
This
see,
is the
correct?
contractor's application form for payment signed by the contractor, so I would say everything's here.
Well, let's identify Laura, if that's used for engineering, architectural, or pipe, or gravel, or what it's used for. That's the purpose of the ARP money, to be used for something specifically, not just for, like I said, to send them a check.
Yeah, but if you've got a,
No, no. It's not the way it's written out, Pat.
okay, so the motion to approve, correct? As is. Right?
Mhm.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Then you will follow up on that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, number 6, exoneration corrective tickets, joint property applications. It looks like we only have A, exonerations on Exhibit A.
Motion to approve that.
Motion to approve 6A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 7. It appears that there are no requisitions
That is correct.
for number 7. Okay, we have a 10:20 appointment.
On the agenda, it states hearing for delinquent and unprogressed estates. All it is to sign an order for the delinquent and unprogressed estates for the county clerk's office.
And all that needs is a president's signature.
That is correct.
Motion for the president to have apply her signature to move forward.
Motion has been made to have the president sign the order for the unprogressed and delinquent estates. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, consideration of approval of project fund requisitions associated with the General Services Administration Building project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission. A, requisition number 68, Rycon Construction for $717,891.46.
Motion approved, A, please.
Motion to approve 8A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 9, review, discuss, consider permission to travel. Chris Cutright, Association of Public Safety Communications Officials Conference, August 4th through the 12th, 2022 for 911.
Motion to approve the travel.
Motion to approve the travel for number 9. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 10, review, discuss, consider creating a RFP for an engineering and architectural firm for the elevators. Who would like to speak to that?
Madam President, is this going to go out to bid to have somebody do the elevator line?
Commissioner Hinkle and I were talking about that for the elevators, that we should go out to bid for an engineering and an architectural firm for the elevators. So they can tell us.
What to do with 5 G-pads and not cover the cost. So you're gonna have to bring in different companies, interview them, and then go through the process. We're probably talking, most was probably over $1 million or more at this point. To replace both of them.
Okay.
So first step is to go out and see who wants to be the engineer on it. Interview them.
So by this agenda item, it would be to approve or not approve creating an RFP that
Just to put the proposal out there for them to contact us, and then we go from there. Decide who we're going to. Understand.
And this is part of what Gina's working on and Michelle's working on to get us monies for.
Right, but that money won't be available until the first of the year. The grant cycle starts, it's in a calendar year from January to December. We'll do the application after July 1 of this year, which will more than likely get approved, but we won't be able to spend it until after January 1st of next year, of 2023.
So what we're gonna have to decide then
It'll
is,
take a hot minute for.
yeah, it's gonna take a long time for this anyway to happen. So it'll line up.
Oh, well, that, and if we do this, it'll allow us to apply for other grants, because we'll know what the cost is and have an idea. Because that's one of the things that they want when you apply for grants is some cost and some knowledge of what we're asking for. Like, don't even want to venture what it's going to cost to gut those 2 elevators out there places.
Does the grant that's gonna come in the beginning of next year, would that cover design services as well?
It covers 5%, 5% of it can cover the design service,
And how much did the grant total be?
100,000 max. With a 10% match, which. cover that.
I guess the question I have is where's the rest of the money gonna come from?
But if we can, if there's other grants out there that we can find, potentially help as well, I mean, we'll certainly research that.
Or we could do it over the course of a couple of years, I guess, depending on how quickly we get it done. So,
Do different phases.
Right.
And are we in a
then,
situation where both elevators are becoming,
Both elevators are going to need replaced. But I think we can also do possibly them in phases if that is an option.
Yeah, we've done it with other projects, like with our sprinkler system and the HVAC system, done it over a 2 or 3 year period. That way we get the max that we can in grants, 100,000 a year. So depending on how quickly you all want to move along, which I'm assuming that this is a job that you want done right away. But, you know, we can do one elevator this year with the grant from January 1, and then following year do the other one, or however you want to proceed, or if we can find other grants. I mean, like I said, we'll.
let's be clear on this, we have to find other money.
Oh,
Our general
well, I
fund right
mean,
now savings is down to
And I
2.4
can't
million
promise you
dollars.
that it's out there, but we will look, you know. Money seems to be going in other directions, and this courthouse facilities grant is really the only thing that I know of at this point that would cover,
And they've been very good to us.
yes, they have. And that would cover anything to do with the courthouse.
So this is the first step to get where we need to get to.
Right, I've already had talked to Danny, and he was in the process of getting quotes for me because I had anticipated on doing this grant. And so he's in the process of getting pricing for this. You know, I think you do need to proceed with your intentions here of getting an engineer, an architect, somebody that knows the elevators and how elevators are supposed to work to help with the engineering of getting a new one and the specs.
I know I'm looking at you like a deer in headlights. I'm just simply telling you, we don't have money.
Oh, I
to
understand
repair those
that.
elevators.
Trust me,
I
I
understand the
understand that.
necessity of them. I understand the handicap necessity. That money does not exist in our budget right now as our budget stands right now.
Well, are you telling me that you do not want me to?
No,
apply
I'm
for
telling you,
this?
I need you to find
No,
every
yes,
scrap of
apply.
penny you can find from every human
And
being and
we
every
will, but I
entity.
can't promise you that it's out there.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of money out there, yes, but there's so much money that we don't qualify for because of the size of our county,
Mhm.
the wealth of our county, you know, over other counties, over other locations. So, but we will certainly do everything we can to try to find more money, but we can't make that promise that it will happen.
And we'll continue to do everything we can to generate money by selling your property, et cetera, fine tuning the budget.
Okay, so what's the pleasure on number 10?
Motion to move forward, please.
Motion to move forward. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Number 11, review, discuss, consider West Virginia Department of Transportation Division of Highways Agreement, Harrison Regional Industrial Park Industrial Access Road, Harrison County. Who does this?
Go ahead, Gina.
Well, I don't know if you want me to speak first, or if you want Amy to speak first, but we did receive, and we, as the grants department, wants to move forward with this project just as much as anybody else, believe me. But, and when we received the agreement, there were a few things in that agreement that we weren't quite sure that it would be okay to put our name on. So that was our question regarding the participants or the people that would want to be within the park, because the application was done on the basis that there would be more than one tenant there. And since then, we have gotten word that possibly one may not be coming into it. However, speaking with Amy, you know, it sounds like it possibly will happen, but we did make a phone call to the DOH just yesterday because we wanted to clarify some things just to make sure that if we go ahead and sign it as it is, that we are okay.
Because there are some things from the application to the award that are different. And we just wanted to make sure that the commission was aware of all of that. But I think she said, including that the tenant that is indicated, the tenants that are indicated in the award are definitely coming. That was number one. The road, and again, Amy can speak to this better, I think, than Gina and I can. But the road in the application is going to be created from scratch, but the road is actually, it's already put in.
Yeah, the road's developed.
Right, but it's not complete. The original application was to the plans for the road, the construction of the road, the gravel, the asphalt, et cetera. The road is out there. The culverts are in, the stone is down. Part of it is paved, although that part, I think part is paved, wasn't part of the original application anyway. So what the state needs from our engineers is a revised cost estimate and revised plans for the portion that is not done. The contract amount is still $400,000, but it's now an up to $400,000, not a guarantee. Here's your $400,000. The plans, the design cannot be reimbursed at this point. We don't know who paid for those. I don't know if those bills have been commissioned, if C paid for those, if we don't know who paid for those. But those cannot be reimbursed through the grant now because those weren't even supposed to be completed until there was a contract in place. So that's one of the issues. And like I said, part of the reason, I think we wanted someone here to speak about that was just someone who knows better, who's there, dealing with it, and understanding where everything stands, and just make sure that we're all on the same page before we ask the commission to actually sign the document.
Whose agreement is this?
It's the commissions, it's the
And who wrote the agreement?
The DOA.
DOH.
DOH, so it's a DOH contract.
Yes,
And you have questions about the DOH contract?
Well, because they included in that,
I'm
The
just
tenant-
asking if you have issues with the DOH contract
well, we did.
with
And then we
questions.
With this
spoke with
one.
them yesterday.
with this one.
Yes,
You have, so you think DOH sent us a bad contract?
Well, that's what we weren't sure, and that's why we wanted to get with Amy and discuss all of this with you all. So we talked to DOH yesterday, and they are fine with the way that the application is wrote up. They will accept the road, because one of the things is that when you do an industrial access road, it's supposed to go into an industrial park to where anybody has access to the other tenant locations. This particular road goes strictly to Harvest Medical. There's no other part of the road that will go anywhere else. So we wanted to make sure that that was going to be okay. Because once this is all done, and before we get our money, the DOH takes ownership of that part of the road. And that's why, then they maintain it. Do you have a question?
Move to approve and have the president fix her signature.
Amy, anything to add?
Questions? I'm not sure. It's, the commission has applied for these grants and received these grants before. So the contracts are different each time. The actual application and the grant are not. They are all the same throughout the years. The contract of this agreement is specific to the project. So I've reviewed this, looked over it, it's on the agenda. I didn't see anything, and we do have to make sure that we have the industrial commitment, which we do, the two companies that are there. The utilities and existing work grading will not be reimbursed. However, that's already been done. And the work for the road itself was done by Harvest Care. This is for the stone grade, final stone grade and paving. So it'll be fully reimbursed and there's no match.
I will say that David Kramer told us yesterday that they do need the revised cost estimate, revised plans in order to proceed.
And that after talking to Thrasher this morning and yesterday, they just really need the green light from the commission to move forward. Because I think they're kind of in limbo too. They're confused as to, we've done work for Harvest Care. We've done work for the county. We are doing the work for this application. So when they get a green light from all of us to say this project's a go, that's an easy fix, not an engineer. But after talking to them, it's an easy fix to do this cost estimates, get this submitted.
I guess my question is, well, I got two questions. Does it go to more than one business?
Yes, it will.
It will. Do we have that?
We
In
have
writing.
Harvest Care and we have Blue Rock.
Are they there
Manufacturing.
already?
Harvest Care is,
I understand Harvest Care is there, but there's nobody else.
not yet, we have to know.
When are they gonna be here?
We have 18 months, so we are waiting for their final.
What if
design
they
to
don't
come.
come? What if they
We have
don't
Two
come?
other tenants lined up.
There's a building for somebody to come into.
There will be. We cannot start the construction of that building until we have the design. of it. And the design is based on that tenant.
Now, and speaking, I will add to that, because that was a concern we had, because that's what the application was based on, and then we were told that they backed out, so I don't know where that is. But we spoke with David Kramer regarding that, because we wanted to make sure that we could go ahead and do this road, that wouldn't be an issue later. So he said, as long as the road, it's okay for the road to go to the Harvest Care, as long as they can provide us, and this is something that we need, provide us with a statement or a letter stating that they have invested, which I'm sure they have, more than $4 million on their project.
Has that been done?
That we need to get that. That's something we found out about yesterday.
Unless.
So I don't think we should sign anything until we have everything that they're asking us to give them. That's just me.
Well,
What am I missing?
if, I feel like if Amy says that Blue Rock is coming and commission relies on that in good faith, and that is what is in the application, and that is what is in the award, I mean, I think that that's fine for them for,
Because there's no match. We have no
Right,
loss in it.
right,
Right.
yes.
But my question is, when did the 18 months start that Blue Rock? Because we've been talking about that for some time. Are we down to 10 months? Are we down to 9 months?
I can make a point, if I can talk on that one. We've already received the grant for 2.6.
Right.
If Blue Rock says backs out tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
in the event they back out, we're still building the building.
Okay,
We are still filling the building. We still have at least a $2.6 million investment for the EDA,
okay.
for the federal EDA.
The
When
meter
you
road.
make up the remaining amount for Harvest Care, you're clearly over 4 million. So they already have, they meaning the state, right, already has what they need. They have what they need for this grant.
Okay, let me ask you while we're on Harvest Medical. The agreement with Harvest Medical is they would provide us 80 jobs. Have you been told how many jobs they've provided for us yet?
I have not.
We need to find that out because the agreement was we would give them a $500,000 piece of property upon 80 jobs being created out there. That was the selling point. And if they're not, then we need to ask some questions of what's going on and why and when, because then we are not getting our bang for our buck for our taxpayers' dollar. And then the other thing I have to ask Amy is if Blue Rock does not come and nobody else develops that, do we want to build a building or we just want to sell the other half of the property and let a private investor come in and develop it?
We already have 2 proposed tenants that would love to have that building. if
Okay.
Blue Rock backs out. So to turn business down, it's just,
I didn't say
We
turn
are
them
in a
down. I said
beautiful-
nobody come.
no, I understand, but I'm just saying, we're in a great position right now. We just don't have the buildings. We really don't. So if Blue Rock does back out, I hate for that to happen because we have them down on everything. But it's a fix with the state as far as a name, and it's a fix with the federal EDA as far as a name. We will still be building an industrial building for another tenant.
Okay, now that 18 months, again, are we down to 10 months, 9 months, 8 months?
We are giving them until the end of this year for final design.
So we have 6 months left to decide if Blue Rock's going to come.
Right,
And then if not, then you're going to move forward with the other 2
Absolutely.
potential clients.
yes.
And then how long do they have? Do they have 18 months to move forward?
No, well, we can do an amendment. Our plans are not to do an amendment. We still want to stay within our timeline.
Because you have to get somebody in there for your
Yes.
grant.
Yes. Because we will start making the payments ourselves if we don't have a tenant. So our goal is, of course, to have a tenant in the lease. We
Okay,
have a draft lease already signed.
okay. Now, listen, in case you leave, and it's okay if you do, I'm gonna make the motion to approve this and move forward. At the same time, if you leave under my commission comments, I'm gonna ask Laura to get with you. I would like to know how many jobs are out there at Harvest Medical. Because it's part of the deal.
So the motion is to,
Already made it.
well, yeah, no, David already made it.
Okay, let's second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, number 12, review, discuss, consider request from Grants Department to destroy, shred grant-related documents that are past their retention requirement dates.
Yeah, this is a normal annual thing that we do. Get rid of old files. that make room for new.
And we are trying to keep copies of things digitally as much as, even the old one, like old awards, old applications, just.
What's the pleasure on 12?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 13, review, discuss, consider budget revision to current 2021-2022 for prosecuting attorney's office. From 405-214, which is travel, $1,400. She's going to split that up, it looks like, and send it to 405-223 and 341.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve number 13. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 14, review, discuss, consider budget revisions for the county commission. Laura.
That should have been a handout that each commissioner should have had at their desk today, and I believe I emailed it out to you last night, just so you could see all the different increase amounts for line items and decrease amounts. To offset those costs. These are all internal budget revisions for county commission, which is 401, 412 extension office, 416 for mental hygiene, 424 for courthouse, 439 for planning, and 717 for central garage.
All for this year.
Yes, sir.
What's the total amount we're moving around?
In the commissions. So in the
All
commission,
these items. What?
commissions, 300, 934. Totals 475, 534.
Why were we so short on capital outlay of equipment? We had to get 365.
I think some of the maintenance departments, capital outlay equipment came out of there. Instead of coming out of 424.
Professional services decreased by 45.
Yes, sir.
What's in professional services that we were able to decrease?
Professional services is like some of the lawyers that we pay, Septon Johnson, also sometimes for Thrasher.
Was Mr. Zimmerman included in that?
No, he's in a different one.
Okay, Catherine and change. All the other stuff.
And professional services at courthouse, is that clean?
Yes.
So,
Motion approved.
Motion to approve number 14. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. A review, discuss, consider budget revision from the sheriff. And you sent that to us as well.
Yeah.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve number 15. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 16, RF. Review, discuss, consider RFP for new animal control facility.
I'm sorry, what number are we on? now?
We are on number 16.
This is put the idea out there to see if the commissioners wanted to have us create an RFP for the new animal control facility. I think we've agreed for a long time that that building, they have outgrown, and it has some repairs that need done to it. So we've been looking at different opportunities, whether it's there, because there's about 3 acres there at animal control, or somewhere else. So this is just, I would like commission to give us the go ahead or pause this to start looking for something for animal control.
As far as I'm concerned, you already had that. That's already been a vote to start July 1st. But I'll make the motion to move forward with getting the RFP with a proposed date of August 12th and a design date no later than September 23rd. That we go ahead and move forward with developing the RFP, and the RFP include the date of a proposed date to be brought to the commission by August 12th and a design date no later than the 23rd. And then the question is the only question I have is, do we want to build it on the same site that we already have, or do we want to look elsewhere? And if we do look elsewhere, I don't want to look elsewhere on any property to develop or build that we don't already own.
$16 acres up by Rush.
Make that part of the equation, Laura. All properties owned by the Harrison County Commission.
We own a lot over there in the corner on by the courthouse too. Right next door.
I don't think you want animal control in Clarksburg.
Just we own-
Just
we
my
own
2
it
cents.
Close to us, keep track of it. Seems we need to keep track of things, so let's just put it next to it.
Motion on the floor.
Okay, motion has been made to approve to go out for the RFP,
I want to hear the dates again as part of the motion.
August 12th
August 12th for,
and a design date no later than September 23rd.
and design date by September 23rd.
Proposal August 12th, Madam President.
Proposal
Design
filed
23rd of September.
August
What
12th.
kind of proposal? I'm just trying to understand the 5G process says we have to go out and interview architects. And then choose an architect. And we hire an architect and then they come back with a proposal. And we either accept the proposal or don't accept the proposal. And once we accept the proposal, then they will engineer and design the job. So I'm trying to understand where how we're doing this in 2 dates when there's all these steps that have to be done in between. And that's just but that's state law, can't bypass it.
David, not only is it state law, we broke state law. We started a project out at the airport that we didn't even have a contract signed for.
Which one's that one?
That was the pot plant. We began design and
You didn't do
construction
anything.
of the pot plant before we even had an agreement signed by the Harrison County Commission. You are 100% correct.
I'm not gonna argue with you, Patsy.
There's no argument. It's a
Just do
fact.
what you want. Just do what you want. That's pretty much the way the commission works.
No, the commission work that we
We sat
started.
this morning and worked out all this with Trey on the phone, and let's just get it over
We
with.
do a lot of homework. We just don't build things, not having any idea of what we're doing.
So you and Trey already have your motions worked out. Go ahead and spit them out. Let's go. I got the other things to do that's a lot more important than playing games with you,
Well, there's no,
and this is a game.
there's no move forward, Madam President.
Motion to move forward.
And Susan, I think you would not even considering we can't make the dates and do what he's wanting to do. That's up to you.
Then change the dates, David. You can amend it to move the
Patsy,
dates.
the
if you
dates are
want.
gonna come however long it takes to put the ad out. You put it in when you want the people to come in to do the
Then
bids. You
change
set that
it.
date.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. I agree with you 100% on what you said. I'm just pointing out what you did in the past. And if you
Patsy,
want to
I
make
haven't
this
done anything
better,
like
then
that in the
fix it.
past.
You
Let's
did it.
just-
Okay,
let's just
okay, guys,
ignore it.
okay, okay.
Let's
okay.
argue
You-
about all the
I
things
thought
that
you
you've
weren't gonna argue. We weren't
Yeah,
gonna
we-
argue. This is not the place to do this,
Trey,
guys.
all
Okay, the
time out,
motion is,
where's it supposed to be going
motion
to?
is on the floor.
Take
Not, are
every-
you,
Motion to approve.
No more-
moving forward with the
well, I'm gonna
RFP.
call you out of order.
Oh,
Okay.
call him out of order.
Madam,
I'll call you both out of order,
Yeah,
but we're gonna move
Let's
on.
just go to recess so we can all just take
This is
time out.
ridiculous.
Madam President, remove the dates and have Laura move forward with the RFP. without
Okay,
the
move
dates.
forward. Okay, you've amended your motion
Remove
to
the
move
dates.
forward with the motion and remove the dates.
And then that is exactly what David said, and that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Yes.
Okay, okay.
And I'll amend the motion to have August 12th as a date for all engineering firms to have their letters of interest into the commission.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna amend the motion that those interested have their letters into the commission by August 12th. Any further amendments to the motion?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Numbers, that's what happened. 17, review, discuss, consider RFP for farm facility, property use and disposition feasibility study. Laura, do you have-
Yes, everyone should have a copy there at their desk. Emailed it out, I believe it was last week, asked you to go over. It's a working document. But the purpose of it, for the general information for the bidders, the intent of this request for proposal is to seek proposals on behalf of the county from experienced and qualified consultants to complete a regional farm recreational facility feasibility site use and or disposition study related to approximately 54 vacant acres of land owned by Harrison County Commission located along with direct access to the I-279 corridor in Harrison County, West Virginia, generally described and depicted as follows.
Now, Laura, this went out to the 3 commissioners,
Yes,
but it did not go out to the public. Got to the public.
It's in the agenda packet as item number
So
17.
the public seen it.
Yeah, and I would propose that we do number 16 the same way, that we prepare an RFP related to the animal control facility and present it to you all, and to the public, just like we did here,
You're right.
so that everybody can comment, and it'll be for professional services related to design, retrofitting, whatever may be the best course of action.
And then the following section outlined on the baseline for this RFP requires the regional farm recreational facility feasibility, site study, and development study. And then, of course, this is the proposer list, opportunity for commercial and industrial development to benefit the Harrison County and protect the operation of the airport. And then since you all are here to represent the Farm Bureau, one of the stipulations is to identify the important qualifications of life service and needs in local population. We are going to have community involvement. We are going to have polling, and we are going to have town hall meetings if possible. We do want that to be brought to the attention. It will be 10 acres that will be developed, which will leave the remainder acreage to be developed for industrial and commercial property. We also would like to look into other areas, possibly Pennsylvania, DC, possibly Pennsylvania, Ohio, anywhere. So that way, if the wheel has been invented already, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so that way we can possibly use somebody else's blueprint. We'd also like to take a look and see if the old barn can be used, because then you young ladies can have the opportunity to get possibly tax credits and also grants, because it's already been established, and historical opportunity is great in our government. The concept of the layout then will be with also will include the utilities. The most important thing is the utilities that are put in place that can also accommodate the industrial and the commercial part of the project, which will be the second phase of this for us once the complex is built, the youth complex is built. We need to identify any grant and potential opportunity, not only grant money from the state, but also potential investors such as WVU, FFA, the Farm Bureau, Fairmont State College, et cetera, et cetera. Once we get this in place, this is an opportunity for us to go ahead and move forward. The engineering firm will create a building design and prepare the drawing for us to be presented to us. The functionality of the building will also be developed and remain on the land. That way, once you have access in, and you'll also have access out as part of the infrastructure. Land development, site building, consideration, parking, traffic, greenhouse gas, and social and economic impact. One of the things we're going to try to figure out is exactly if we can generate revenue, whether it's renting a bay or selling ads for the property. Because at the end, once we receive the information, we know that we have to, don't have a fixed number, but once we receive the amount of money that it's going to cost, we know that could change, because as everything continues to go up, we're hoping that things eventually start to go back down. We will require that our proposer have the qualifications that are necessary, and that our person that is our vendor must sign off on everything. This RFP, however, is completed, and it will be a motion that I make that we move forward with the RFP that has already been created, and that it be proposal date be August 12th, and a design date no later than September 23rd. That's where I got it from the other one, but I did put the cart before the horse, and I appreciate that was taken off, that was amended and fixed for the animal control complex. That's all I have, Madam President.
Where's the money come to pay for this study?
We do have $250,000 set aside for the youth farm complex.
Okay. I would like to make an adjustment that we add parcel 11.3, District 16, map 290, the other 52 acres that we own on 279 is part of the proposal. We own the property. I would like to add 11.4, District 16, map 290, 16.63 acres that we own along 279.
Now, if-
And I would also like to add property in Stelter that's gonna become available over 50 acres in Stelter.
Now, David, do we own that as a commission or does the development group vote it?
It will be owned by the development, but it won't be an issue.
Well, the development court has to have a meeting and a quorum and a vote.
I just like to consider when they look at it, Patsy, they might not consider it as possible.
Why don't you let us know when their next meeting is, Laura? And see if we can get that on the agenda, please.
On the court or the authority.
The authority, Mike Jenkins.
Okay,
Nope, they don't have anything in it.
one of the pieces of
No,
property
actually, they do.
is in the.
Is owned by the authority. The one-
Okay.
We have
The
52
authority
acres is
property,
owned by the
You can
authority.
still see if it's worth doing.
Oh, I agree, but at the same time, we can't, as a commission, move forward with that. They have to prove that as a board and bring it, present it to us.
Then I propose we postpone putting this out till we have all property sold. Because those are.
But
two
this
very
does
good
not, you have to do
locations.
another RFP for the rest of the.
Right,
No, we don't.
you absolutely do.
It's all
Isn't
combined.
this specific to,
You just add them.
Well, you all.
will you let me answer ask the questions?
Let's
Thank
not
you.
argue. The commission asked Laura and I to put an RFP together for this piece of property. That's why it was specific to this piece of property. What Commissioner Hinkle was asking is to bring other pieces of property within this RFP for consideration for the farm use. That's certainly. a
I mean,
fair
I don't have
motion
an
to make.
issue.
It's a
I
fair
don't have
motion to make. But that's what he's asking. But that would be contrary to what we were asked to do initially when we drafted.
Mr. Treehouse said this afternoon or this morning that he wanted us to consider all properties the county in.
No, I said to build an animal control complex. But this here is a separate issue that we're voting on right now, Madam President. And then what Commissioner Hinkle wants to do, I agree with. However, when we have boards that have ownership of
No, I
property, we as a
understand.
commission cannot supersede that. So Laura can get back to us when, get with Chair of the board, Mike Jenkins, get this on the agenda, please, and see if they approve or disapprove, and then bring it to the commission if they approve. Please. So the motion on the floor is still.
To
as I
approve the
stated.
one here.
Yes,
We can, at a later date, look at one to include the rest of the problem.
yes, and then we can feed off of the MOU that we've already developed and make some necessary changes, because on all those properties, there won't be an animal youth complex, a building being built on it. You see what I'm
We're gonna
saying?
go out and go through all these hoops again instead of waiting a couple.
Because it's the way because we don't own it, David.
No, I just said, it's gonna kill us to wait a couple weeks. You're gonna go out for another RFP, you could end up with another company and pay more money. So I'm just trying to understand why we just don't wait 2 weeks and do it all as one project.
Because it's not one project. A different person may buy that 52 acres than buys this per 52 acres. Another
Yeah, but you can do one
At that
RFP.
level.
and
You
do
could do
them all.
one RFP and one price.
Absolutely not, because the RFPs are going to be different. Because,
Right.
because what we put on was the RFP for Spelter, in the Spelter condition where there's a potential problem with the environmental aspect,
There
which
isn't
we
that.
don't have.
Well,
You
I'm,
say
I'm
there's not.
concerned with the property that the commission
Right.
has where the authority gives us the approval.
Right,
Something that is not in the works yet is I'm concerned about.
right.
But I want to know, should we add the commission or the authorities if they give us permission and with, along with this in one RFP?
That's,
Or just move forward with this and do another RFP for the rest of it?
that's a decision for you all to make. It depends because for
I mean, I
example,
understand it's our
Let's go back to item 16 briefly, that animal control facility. That would be in theory a separate RFP. It's a separate facility. Distinct from farm. It could be on the same piece of property. It could not be. That's a decision for you all to make as the governing body.
But we don't care if it has economic value.
In terms of what context, what property. I mean, all property has economic value. We all know this is a nice piece of property on 279. We were given some conditions to build into the RFP for industrial and commercial, and to attempt to preserve the integrity of the airport. That's what Laura and I tried to do with the process, because that's what we were directed to do. If y'all want to cut it a different way, that's your decision.
Okay, the motion is on the floor to move
Well,
forward.
Well, no, Commissioner Hinkle made a
I
motion.
made a motion because,
It's on
and
the
all
Okay.
this back to it is, if
Okay.
you got 16 acres, you own up by the air, that the Development Authority owns 16 acres, we own 6 acres. Take the 2 and you can make 11 flat acres.
But
And
you
don't
could do
touch
that
your
in a
ball plant
separate RFP.
if you want to pay twice.
I don't want to pay twice, but I go with what Patsy says. I think we need to check with the Development Authority to make sure they want to
And
do that.
so we have 2 weeks to do it.
Well, you don't know that you have to. I mean, I guess they could have a special meeting. I mean, I don't want to spend more money than we have to.
But those two properties that join each other, they're on the other side of 279 on the airport side, correct?
Yeah.
And this property sits up across closer to, say, Mia Margarita area, and it's 54 independent.
It would have
acres.
different
They do have some different characteristics, but there are some
similarities.
similarities, but this is what we were asked to bring, it's what we brought you.
So it would be the cost of advertising. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what cost advertising, and if you hire somebody, you're gonna have to pay.
Okay.
And
Motion's
I
on
just
the,
hate to see us put ourselves into a point where if you put site that you guys choose comes back at $8 million to develop, or $2 million or $3 million. I just don't know why we're shortchanging ourselves when we have other property up through there or other places.
well, I think we can do that on a separate.
And it also has sat for years, Madam President, and it
Well,
wasn't
they
an
all
issue
say
until
have
we all
sat
of a
for
sudden
years. I
decided
know.
to develop a piece
I
of
guess
property
you
for
don't
parking.
understand economic development too well.
And
I'm not even gonna go there.
Let's go there.
No, I'm not going there.
Don't know
Okay, the
about that.
motion is on the floor to add to to number 17, property owned by the authority, property possibly to be owned by the corporation in Spelter. And what other county properties?
The Maple Lake Farm.
Maple Lake
Maple Lake
Farm.
Farm.
Anything else? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
no,
No. Now we'll go back to the original motion to approve number 17 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
Laura?
Enlarged Hepzibah is preparing to submit their packet of information to the PSD to backfeed the water from Lake Floyd to Clarksburg. So that's a nice step in that direction. Budget revisions that were sent to the auditor's office have been approved, so at least that has been taken care of. And fiscal year end is upon us, as you know. You might not always get an answer from bookkeeping and payroll right away, but email them and I think that would be the best course, don't you say, email?
Or call me, said we're calling me.
Or call John. And that is all I have.
Number 19, commissioner comments. Commissioner Treehouse.
I know that Laura wants to bring me and gets us the numbers, please.
I have none. Mr. Hinkle.
yes, Laura and Trey, if you would go over the agreement that between Solid Waste Authority and us that we signed for the hire and make sure that the agreement and the hire are one and the same. And what we agreed to is what we got.
Certainly.
That it?
Uh, I want to apologize to Harvest Medical for Mr. Treecost calling them a pot plant. They make medical marijuana. He seems to be very anti-job, if they don't do their 80 jobs right off the bat. I guess we should treat them like we did MHI or other companies, that if you can't find employees, you can't get things going good because of the economy. I guess according to this commission, we're gonna reverse what we did. So I'm hoping that Mr. Treecost gets a better view of how things work, and there's no guarantees that when a company comes, everything works out. And I'm not sure what he thinks he's going to do to them if they don't have 80 employees. But put it on the next agenda. I would like to know what this commission intends to do to Harvest Medical if they didn't hit their 80 employees.
Anything else? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?